everybody, it's me, Jonathan Millard, the voice of the Vale, and welcome to another Big Hype podcast brought to us by our great sponsors, Combat Ticks, and our preferred charity of choice, Boxers in Need. Oh, and of course, Bravos boxing gloves. Protect yourself at all times whilst wearing Bravos. But ladies and gentlemen, joining me in his home via your ears is the one and only Spencer Binks. I love that.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much. We were talking before we went on air and where we announced you, and it took a little bit of time to get, but it was Scott Galo show that I announced you on, and I'll get that out because I'm sure I've announced the name and I was like, it is such a great name.
It's a memorable one.
It is. Do you know what? God has blessed you with a great name.
Don't forget it, yeah.
There's something about Binks, and it's just, as an announcer, I was like, it's kind of like, it's up there. I just got joy when I said it, and it's joy when I say it again tonight. So let's ask you the same question I've asked everyone else who's come on the podcast so far, which is, how and why did you get involved in boxing?
So, my dad used to box, so, it's a given when your dad boxes, you're down in a boxing gym. So I was always down gyms from when I was young. So it kind of came a bit natural, but then I slipped off a little bit as a kid, and I started putting on a little bit of weight and whatnot. And I remember I told this story before, but I did a park run with my mum and dad, and I was 11, and my mum dragged me around this park run, and I was so unfit. And then that's when it was like, oh, he needs to do some kind of fitness, lose a bit of timber. So inevitably ended up in the boxing gym, and then I had my first amateur fight when I was 12. And then, here we are ever since.
I understand that the first fight was in Worksop, is that right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I took my research, though. So, and you won that fight, that very first fight.
Yeah.
Unanimous decision. And so how many amateur fights did you get involved in? You obviously, as an amateur,
I think it was 26. I think I had 26 as an amateur.
Okay. Bit of a mixed bag, or was it a sort of predominant win?
Yeah, mixed bag, kind of like a 50-50 kind of record. I had a few that definitely should have gone my way. As amateur boxing is a bit like that, isn't it, when you're going on the weigh shows? I'm
not going to say anything. Look, I was an amateur coach. I was an amateur referee and judge for a little while in my career.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do get swayed a little bit, the crowd can hear, when you're watching, and you're right close to it, you see, you can't obviously head movement, and
or your lad walks out and he's got an England vest on. You're thinking, I'm already around
that shouldn't affect judges. Well, I'm not going to say that.
It shouldn't.
Judges are very good. It's a hard job to be a judge and official on a amateur show, particularly as we.
And it's easy to criticise judges and refs.
Very easy. You did a couple of other things as well. You did a box cup. You got a silver medal.
Yeah. I got a silver medal in the box cup. If it's the one I'm thinking of, I came up short against a right good kid fight. I think it was from Hunslet ABC, I think.
Okay. I had it down as the Eastman's box cup. Again, this was just me trying to do some digging on you.
Yeah, I boxed it out a couple of times. Yeah, that one. Yeah, it was a tough kid that beat me in the final, and then I boxed in it again. And I thought I should have beat that lad, but then I lost to him. Even though I thought I should have won, and he went and won the old things. Yeah, so I did that, and then I got boxing at East Midlands championships a few times and stuff. So yeah,
the amateur career is obviously, it's your foundation, it's your apprentice. A lot of people call
apprenticeship.
It's your way forward into that. So when did you turn pro again?
I was 19. It would have been. It was about 3 years ago, I think it was.
Okay, so it's not long ago.
No.
I had you down around late 23, early 24, so I'm not far off for that one.
Well, it might not even be that, actually. It might be 2 years, sorry. No, 2 years. I had my debut 2 years ago. Sorry, yeah. I must be right.
But, a record at the moment sitting 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw.
5 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw.
Look, I got it wrong. I should have read box rate properly. I'm trying to remember. So the pro debut, that was Scott Galo show.
Yeah, that was
in Nottingham. How did you find the change from going from? I've asked this question of many amateur boxers who turn into the pro. How did you find the change?
The change. It was difficult. It was difficult. it was strange because my senior fights I didn't have many as a senior, and they were kind of I think I had 3 as a senior, and 2 were against other lads that were 18 while I was 18, and then the other one was an adult, if you want to call it that. Jumping from that to an experienced pro who's a man, and it was so different compared to what I'd used to. And in hindsight, should have got the sparring in with some bigger, tougher pros that were older, but I didn't. And the weight was all wrong. Rate was I was matched at 11 stone and I boxed at 10 stone, so there was a fault on our behalf. Yeah, but I came away with a draw, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it probably wasn't the dream start you probably thought about. You probably thought, I'm going to get through this, I'm going to get a win, and off you go.
It felt like a loss because of that, because that's what you expect, don't you? You want to win your debut and get off to a flying start, but it weren't meant to be.
How do you deal with that mentally? How did you deal with that physically?
I just knew that I had to make a change somewhere. I moved clubs. I knew that was one party issue, not to pass no blame on, because ultimately it's me in the ring, but I knew that was a bit of an issue. And then mentally, you just got to pick yourself up, haven't you? It's not my. I've lost as an amateur, and so yeah, I knew I had to come back from it. Really, I knew what to improve on.
It's all right. I'm still here, but my camera's just decided to go and disappear, and I have no idea why. So
like I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, I know. It feels like you're talking to yourself, but you're not. You're talking to me. You're just talking to a blank screen. Let's see if we can do something about that while we keep talking. Yeah, so you changed clubs, you moved around and sort of took on board what those sort of issues were. Should we call them issues? Was that the right?
Yeah. There was definitely 100% issues there. Yeah, definitely.
How did you find changing around and moving around? Yourself physically. Did you?
Yeah, well.
Let's just do that. There you go. That's better. We're back in the room.
Yeah. Sorry, what was your question again? Sorry.
So how did you deal with changing around and moving around and all those sort of things?
Not too bad. I've moved before. I've been in a box with 3 amateur gyms, so I've moved before. But the place I was with, that I had my debut with, was my amateur club that I had been with them for best part of 5 years, maybe even 6. But I find the change not too bad. I fit in pretty well with my coach and the other lads there, and and they got me on board pretty well, and I was trying to pick up everything that I was learning, so not too bad really.
And then we move into the winning sort of side of it. You came back in March 24.
Yeah.
And 8-week camp back in Nottingham, your home city. A point win over all 4 rounds. You took out all 4 rounds, if I remember correctly, from that one. From what
that's right.
How did you find that then? Was that the turning point for you? Did you feel actually, vindicated for the loss or the draw? Sorry.
Yeah, almost. So after I had that draw, I thought that can't happen again. I knew I was so determined on that second one to go out and get the win, and I did. So I won every round, and it was a decent fight. Yeah, it was all right, but that almost felt like my debut in a way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That almost felt like my debut. Yeah, especially with it being in Nottingham as well, getting a win in Nottingham. Cherry on the top, really.
Are you a Forest fan?
I like to know they're doing well. I'm a fake one.
Okay, I'll let you off then. I'll let you off as long as you support them at the right times, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it.
That's good. Yes, you continue then in winning ways. You took on Jake Smith in your next fight. I think that might have been the fight that I announced, because
it could have been.
Thinking back last year, it was I did a show for Scott, and that was at the Rushcliffe. This was at the Rushcliffe Arena. Great venue.
Yeah,
wonderful people. I'm doing my Donald Trump impersonation there. Great place, wonderful people. So it was a really good venue, and I think from the first time we'd been there. So that was your second win. How did it feel then to start? Feel that things are going your way now.
It was good, because from every single fight you could see the development coming on. And I think that was probably the fight where I settled into like a pro style, because I had the debut where I was still kind of boxing like an amateur, and then the second one against Naeem Ali, where I feel like I boxed like a pro, but there was still kind of little bits there to work on. You were sitting on the punches and punching like a professional, and I feel like it was with Jake in the third fight where that really you could start to see that come through. So that was good to get off, and it was a good win in the process as well.
And then you come in, well, again, my debut on this one, my paperwork was obviously then you have a win over Sheffield, in Sheffield at the Skate Centre on Fight Zone. You had Jake Price again.
That was my last fight, that was.
Yeah. Have I missed one then? I've missed one or two, haven't I?
Missed two, yeah, you missed two.
So, yeah, should just go. Go on, you tell me about the two, because Oxrack obviously doesn't want to work for me today, so...
Is that right? How many have we got this? We got my debut, the second one, and then we got Jake. Was it Paul Scaife after that? I think I boxed Paul Scaife after that over 4, I think. Yeah. And that was another decent fight. That went very similar to the one with Jake.
Paul Scaife, we got with Jake Price, Stefan Vincent, which was your second fight. Carl Sampson, your third.
I don't think that's right.
Am I going the wrong way around? I'm going the wrong way around. We're going the wrong way. Okay, sorry. Dale Harrison starting off. Niall Alley. I should be used to reading pro cards, shouldn't I, really? Paul Scaife, Paul retired now, obviously.
He's retired now.
Very honoured to announce him on his very last time in the ring. I was up in Sheffield a couple of weeks back.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, so retired, put the gloves on the shelf. And then you got Jake Smith coming through then on the fourth fight. And then we've got Carl Sampson for his 50th bout that night.
Yeah. Bit of a slip, bit of a speed bump there with Carl Sampson. That was my first 6-rounder as well. Caught him on his 50th fight, and he was well up for it, wasn't he? I think I pinched a couple rounds, and it wasn't all like it was all one-sided. I still gave as good as I took, but it was definitely the right decision. Yeah, you can't take nothing away from Carl. He beat me fair and square. Yeah, caught me some nice shots, but I stuck in there and gritted it out.
I know they say about journeymen, and obviously, there's obviously a lot of debate around journeymen in the sport. They're there to do a job, but they're also they don't want to lose. And like you say, if they can smell the blood in the water, sometimes they'll come for you and they'll go for it, and they'll put it on you. You
can't forget as well. Is that 50 pro fights? Is that 50 odd amateur fights, and there's 100 fights there?
Yeah. And I mean, that's just the stuff we know. So,
exactly.
That aside, I mean, the man, he's well known and well respected around the sport as well for being. He's a tough fighter. He's a hard man to beat, and like you said. So take nothing away from that fight. And you said, that one is in the history books. But we come out then in the what's that, the March this year 2025, although if you're watching this in the new year, obviously it was last year. Vincent, again, love stuff, great guy, well renowned, well respected, quite a hard man as well, quite a hard fighter.
He is,
a different type of style that he has, a bit of a brawler sort of style to him. How did you find on getting with him in the ring?
Yeah, good as well. That was my second 6th round.
Mm-hmm.
Second 6th rounder. I felt really fit. I felt really strong in there as well. The first round was a little bit hesitant because just coming off that the loss with Carl. So I was a little bit hesitant, but in the first, but then after that, I was comfy. Felt my range, felt my distance. I was pushing him back, and it felt good. But he gives as good as he gets. He doesn't. He tries to have a go. If he thinks he's going to get the win, he's gonna come for it. But that was a good
fight. And then your last fight, obviously, this was Sheffield. This was
the one. Yeah.
Binks against Price, again, great fight in the Skate Hall Central on October 1st, and I was floating around the venue that show, backstage with Sam Goodrum at Lionsden.
Yeah.
Did see Scott, but I couldn't speak to him.
I remember seeing you now.
I was floating around, having a little look in the background. Some great fights on that card, and I've got to say, I
Yeah, it was good show, that was.
just caught yours when I think I came into the arena. I think we were in the second round. And again, good bout, good fight. How did you find that? How did you find going away from some being the away fighter a little bit in this one, because you're a little bit out of your normal comfort zones for this one.
Yeah, that's it. A little bit different. First on not on a road, but on as an away one as a professional, and I liked it. I enjoyed it, and I knew he was up for a tough fight as well, because Jake, if you're not on it, he'll beat you. He will. He's a decent kid. He is, definitely, and that's why we took it, because we wanted to see whereabouts we're at, where we are. Because at this point, I've been working with Scott Kalo, who's my manager. I've been training in his gym as well, and we wanted to see what we've been working on and see where we are with it. So he was handpicked opponent, knowing that he's going to be tough and not someone who's just going to walk around and not give it. So, and it was the best I've performed. Yeah, was buzzing with it. Yeah, really happy with that one.
And this was matched. Was this a Dan Francis match, or was it Scott matched you? Or
yes, I think Scott matched me. Was it Dennis Hobson's show? And Scott...
it was a Dennis Hobson show.
Yeah,
so maybe I don't know. Again, I don't know the whole thing, but I mean, your first win away from home.
Yeah,
like you said, you wanted to test yourself. You wanted to push yourself. I mean, obviously, what's the goal there? Is it to go out on the road a bit more for 2026? What are we looking ahead, or are we looking to try and make Nottingham the stronghold of the Binks stronghold? That's what it is. So we come and watch him. You come and watch the atmosphere. You get the whole home crowd behind you and that sort of thing.
Well, I love boxing at home. I love boxing in Nottingham. Sometimes it's not always possible, because there's not always shows on, and I can't just wait around to be in Nottingham. So I think the start of this year, I'm probably going to have to go move away again and someone else's show. But I've not got a problem with that. But the main goal really was to develop our style, see how it's developing on. And it's okay hitting someone who's not going to hit you back. It's when you've got someone in front of you who's going to come and test you and challenge you, and he's going to stick in there and he's going to be tough. So that was the main goal, really, and we did get that out of him. That was exactly what we needed. It wasn't just no pushover.
Good, and like you said, that's what you want. That will push you to the next stage.
Definitely.
We've seen you at welterweight predominantly, but recent weights obviously is a bit closer to super lights.
Yeah, so I've mainly came in at super lightweight for all of my fights. It's my opponents have been over.
Yeah,
coming overweight, and then they've had to match it at welter instead. So yeah, in the same day weighing, I'm a super lightweight, but when I eventually get a day before weighing, I'm going to be a lightweight.
Okay. Is this where you feel more dangerous? Is this where you feel this is where you've got your edge to take over?
Yeah, definitely. At 10 stone, I'm big for 10 stone.
How tall are you?
About 5'10", 5'11".
Okay. So quite.
Decent frame for a super welter or a super lightweight or a lightweight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll play off nicely.
Okay, so we're going to be watching that. We're going to be watching this in 2026 to see almost all the fighters coming in on weight for you, and what we mean, obviously, where you feel more comfortable rather than being overweight. Were you 20? So you're 19 when you turned pro. 21, 22?
22 now. Yeah.
22. Okay.
Yeah. I think that when I had my debut, I think I was 20 when I had my debut, because of all the process of turning over, and yeah.
Okay, and do you feel eventually, perhaps you might put on a little bit more muscle and weight and move up a couple of divisions, super welter, a middle even?
Yeah, maybe. I want to, when I compete at lightweight, I want to stay there for a few years and then see what my body does naturally. See how it grows, because it might be one of them where I develop into a massive lightweight. I might just develop really nice into that weight and become massive for it. Or it might become too tight to make, and then I end up having to go up to welter, or or even further.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard when you're trying to maintain weight, and obviously you're in and out of the gym and you're working hard.
Yeah,
You're trying to define and develop yourself as well. But muscle's heavy.
yeah, of
It
course.
carries that. And people perhaps don't see the hard work that you do in the gym, and they see you in the ring and they see it all lights and the glamour and on
Yeah, of
Fight
course.
Zone and whatever else, the opportunities that are there for you. So what does a typical day look like for you when you start out in the morning? Rain's coming down. It's Nottingham rain.
Yeah.
What does a shift look like for you?
So a usual day, I work. So
Okay.
I do a full-time job. So nothing glamorous there.
What do you mind me? What do you do?
I do car body work. So
Wow.
in
Okay.
accident repair. So yeah, nothing glamorous. Go to work, and then I'll go straight from work to the gym, and then straight from there, I'm doing all my meal preps and everything like that, counting all my calories, making sure I've got hit every target for the day, and then go sleep. And it's simple as that. And then
Repeat and rinse.
yeah, literally. Some days I'll run in the morning before work if I've got a fight coming up. Yeah, other than that, I'm just working and training. That's it. It's nothing glamorous on a weekday.
Play to you, mate. Fair play. Yeah. A lot of people don't see that, and they'll just see, oh well, look, he's fantastic. Look, he's doing what he's, he's
Yeah,
winning all these
exactly.
fights, and it's sometimes good to know that So you're working as well. I mean, that in itself is hard work.
Oh, of
You're
course.
spending
Yeah,
8 hours, 9 hours at work on a day
yeah,
shift. You're out then and about trying to get back in the gym, trying to think. It's
exactly. Yeah.
not an easy game, mate. The pro game, it's not an easy game, but
Not easy.
you're doing well. You're doing well from this start already. And obviously, the small hall circuit in the UK is, it's a notorious tough scene anyway
Yeah,
for
it's
you to
tough.
cut your teeth in. And what's one thing that the pro game have surprised you? One of the most things that perhaps surprised you since moving from the amateurs over to the pros.
The ticket sales.
Okay.
Ticket sales. Yeah, that is like one of the hardest parts of the sport, selling the tickets. So you got to cover the cost of everything. For example, for my last fight, I think I needed to do, once I paid for everything, I think to break even, I want to say it was 64 tickets, but don't quote me on that because it might not have been 64 tickets. I think I sold 59, so I had to buy 5 tickets of my own money and put it away towards the boxing, to fund it to even just be able to fight. Like, yes, it is an hard thing to do to crack, is selling the tickets, because one minute everyone wants to come, and the next minute no one can make it, and yeah,
You're not the first one to say that to us on the podcast, and it's not.
yeah,
And it does sometimes feel like you're investing in your fight career. And I know sometimes it can seem a little bit. What's the word I want? Perhaps a little bit doesn't quite go with the flow. It kind of
yeah,
grates a little bit, I suppose. That you think
uh,
actually, I just want to get in a fight, and obviously you've boxed in the amateurs, so there's no
yeah,
real pressure on you per se to do the ticket sales, and
turn
this
up,
is
yeah,
something that you turn up, you box. Hopefully, your opponent's there. If not, normally there's someone else from another gym, roughly
yeah,
the same weight. You
someone's
can
got a
kind
good
of,
shield, yeah,
cook it,
yeah,
shield, got my bag in the car, let's go. So yeah, it's a big difference. But yeah, no, you're investing in your future, and that's a really, that I think a lot of people probably won't realize that you've invested in yourself,
yeah,
not
you've
only
got
just the
to.
gym.
Yeah, yeah, you've got to. Yeah, it's a difficult old game. It is difficult, especially like I say, as I work a full-time job and training, and then I've got to go out and deliver the tickets, and I've got to write down who everyone is and try and remember who's wanting a ticket. And yeah, it's not easy, but
No, it's not, mate. It isn't.
it's me who chose to do it. So
But it'll all hopefully equate to something going forward. And obviously,
yeah,
as you say, we're 5 and no 5-6, 5-1-1, aren't we? 5-1-1.
yeah, that's fine.
So, but that's that. We're moving in the right direction. Things are going in the right direction. You've got 2 wins behind you now after that loss, and now we've got another opportunities are coming up. I'm sure
Yeah,
Scott's
exactly.
looking at opportunities because I know
We're
Scott.
looking, yeah,
What's
we're
he look?
looking. Yeah.
What are we looking at in the future? What are we looking at that hopefully in 2026? What's the plan for 2026 and the next couple of years?
I want that Midlands title. I'm dying to get that, to get my hands on that. That's the goal. I always like to set myself little goals. When I started boxing, it was to just have an amateur fight, and then after that it was to turn pro, and then now I've turned pro. My goal is to get that Midlands title. I'm 100% going to get it. Definitely, I'm not leaving the sport till I don't get it.
I love it. I love the dedication. I won that fight. I won the belt. Give me
So
give me it.
hopefully next year that will
So
hopefully that something will arise.
who's got the title at the moment? Is it vacant or is it?
It's vacant at the minute for lightweight. Yeah, it's vacant. So hopefully the opportunity comes where I can challenge for that, get another one out of the way at the start of the year, get some ring war stuff, and then see what opportunities are about.
And obviously now you've had a little bit of journeyman. You said you enjoyed that being on the road a little bit more. What if there were other opportunities? What else would you like to see yourself? A couple, maybe not next year, but 2026, maybe 2027, 2028. Where would you like to see that going?
Maybe like a show on a TV spot and cause a bit of an upset. That'd be nice.
Okay.
Or even just get the opportunity of an invite to go and box on on one of your mainstream medias would be on your outlets would be nice, like a DAZN or even these BBC shows that are on now.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to maybe go in there and finally show off what we can do. But if we can go and cause an upset along the way, it'd be nice.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment it seems to be that there's a lot of opportunity for boxers. I mean, like you just mentioned, the BBC have got boxer now on there. You've got DAZN, and they're picking up a number of different promotions. I mean, Trilogy Promotions is a Nottingham promotion as well. Perhaps there could be something there. They're on DAZN now as well. Top tier down in South Board, and you've got a couple of others as well that are sort of appearing. You've got Fight Zone, which you've already
been on
appeared on as well. So I mean, there's plenty of opportunities for this, and obviously you've got other things like the BBC Boxing Grand Prix. Again, great opportunity for younger boxers with records like yours. Under 10 fights and under 15 fights and under a certain age. So it could be. Who knows? Turkey could be calling you and saying, come on over.
I applied. I did apply for that.
Did you?
Whenever it was on, and I'd not had many at the time. I don't know if I'd had 3 or 4 at the time. I didn't have many, but I never heard back.
Fortunately, didn't make the event.
Turkey weren't interested.
Turkey weren't interested on this one. I don't think it was Turkey's fault, but just if he's listening, Mr. Binks wants to fight on your show, so let's just get him on there. So plenty of opportunities. Would you like to sort of get that British Championship opportunity? Would you like to get a world shot?
Brilliant. Yeah, that'd be brilliant. That would, it'd be like a dream come true. But I can't overlook the Midlands title at the minute because that's the one that I'm striving for. I really want that, so I want to strive for that, and then see where the goals are from there. See if we can go for like a British or English or something along them lines.
Perfect. Obviously, I've mentioned you're a Nottingham fan, you're a Nottingham person. A lot of boxers come from Nottingham. Who is your favourite boxer of all time from Nottingham?
From Nottingham, I do like Lee Wood, but Lee Wood, it's either toss up between Lee Wood or Cole Froch. One of the two. They're the two big names, aren't they? Really.
They filled that arena. They filled that ice rink a couple of times, both of them. So
I probably will go for Lee Wood. I've been to more Lee Wood fights, so I've never seen Cole Froch live, so. We'll go for Lee Wood.
I've met Carlo. He's a nice guy. I've met Lee. He's a nice guy. So
they're both
really nice guys. So you can't think. Who was the hardest puncher you faced? Either amateur or professional. I mean, it's just as a random thought. I just had it. Who
can we count sparring as well?
You can tell me whoever you want, mate. It's a name. If it's a name, it's a name.
There's a lad who used to be signed under Scott Kalo, and his name is Jack Smith. He used to go under J.R. Smith, I think. When we was about 13 years old, he caught me with an uppercut and broke my nose when I was about 13. And then since then we've done a couple rounds since, and he hits like a train. And then when I turned pro, he asked me to do some sparring. Being in mind, he's a bit heavier than me. And I thought, I'm a bit bigger. I'm older now. He probably don't even hit that hard. It was just because we was kids back then. But I know he's still inside that. But I don't think he don't box now. But he hits unbelievably hard.
Fair play to him. Well, we come to our final round. So, Spencer Binks, are you ready for the final round?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Here we go. Final round. So, Southpaw or Orthodox?
Orthodox.
Okay. Body shots or headshots?
Headshots.
Train alone or with a partner?
With a partner.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Okay. Heavy bag or the speed bag?
Heavy bag.
As a heavy bag fan.
Yeah.
Boxing gym or outdoors amongst the trees?
A boxing gym.
Short and powerful punches or long and technical game?
Long and technical.
Fight dirty, fight clean.
Quite clean.
Okay, the board's not listening. Who knows?
Just in case we'll watch it. You never know.
You've probably experienced both of these. So the loud crowd or a quiet atmosphere?
Oh, the loud crowd. Yeah, we want all the atmosphere.
Okay. The quick knockout or strategic win?
Don't get paid for overtime. Quick knockout.
Fair enough. Hypothetical question, because we thought this was going to be on. We thought it was going to be on, but unfortunately, news today breaking about AJ being involved in a car accident. AJ or Fury, is it going to happen, and who would win?
It's probably not going to happen, but I'm a big AJ fan, so let's go AJ.
Do you know what? You've bucked the trend there a little bit, because a lot of people were going for Fury, and we had it obviously before the Jake Paul fight. I think it put Anthony back on the map. I think again,
a little bit.
Made people speak about him a little bit. And obviously, unfortunately, news to hearing today that I hope we wish him obviously a speedy recovery as well, and hopefully get him back in the ring.
I don't like all the bad press that Anthony Joshua gets. He gets a lot of stick for not a lot of reason.
I think that's just media, isn't it? Just like they just want to pick someone who they think, you know what, if we pick this guy, we'll pick on him a little bit.
People listen to it, though, don't they? And it makes people turn on people.
Unfortunately, yes, it's true. People do like to follow
narratives. Follow trends. Yeah,
and that's why I say I think. I mean, a lot of people. We've had a lot of boxers come through, and a lot of people we've had on the podcast have asked that same question too, and they've gone Fury, and they've given their reasons as well. They do. Again, I think Fury has his points as well, and I just want to see it. I just want to see it happen.
I'm not even bothered who wins, really. At the end of the day, I want to see it. I want to be there to see the atmosphere.
Yeah, and that's what we all want to be. We want to all have the opportunity to be in, I don't know, Wembley or Tottenham Stadium, wherever it happens. It's just the opportunity to say, do you know what?
To experience it.
I've had it. We watched it. We knew it was good. We've been there. It was happened. Thank God for that.
Fingers crossed it happens.
Yeah, it would be the biggest tragedy if it never happens. But again, we're not the matchmaking gods. I'm not Eddie Hearn.
It's a bit like Kell Brook versus Amir Khan now, isn't it? Like, it's just gone on too late. But
exactly.
We still want to see it, though.
We'd love to see it. I'm sure that some people would love to see that fight again. Everyone has a day, I suppose, in the sun, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to keep going into it. It's over and done with. Spencer, how do people follow you? How do they get involved? How do they follow your story?
So if you follow me on Instagram, which is SB_Binksy, which is BINXE. Yeah, I post on there during like training camps and stuff. So yeah, you can all follow along on there. That's about it, really. So I've got a few other social medias that are under the same handle. So TikTok, if you want to find me on there, post a little cringy TikTok now and again.
I kind of lost the plot with TikTok. I've kind of just I'm leaving it for a minute. I don't know why. I keep spending more money than I'm supposed to on TikTok and on I mean, that just as soon as something comes up, I go, oh, that's good. So that's £3.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll add that to my basket. The next thing I know, I spent £45. I'm going,
absolutely
not happen, but it is what it is. So there we are. Spencer, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Have you got anything lined up? Can you let me know date?
Well, it'll be March.
Okay.
It'll be March.
Okay.
Nothing's finalised, but it might be away. We're just waiting to see if there's anything in Nottingham in March. If not, it'll be the end of March away.
So keep him busy. It seems like you've got a plan, and I wish you every success with your plan. And I hope it leads to that Midlands championship. And
definitely, when I get the belt, we'll come back on here and I'll lift it up.
I like that. We have a catch up once you've won that belt, mate. We'll try and have a catch up every year from here on in, mate, because that's what I like to try and do: experience, exposure, and give boxers an opportunity to show and talk about what they're up to.
Wow, that's great.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? At the end of the day, we're all
So unfortunately,
fans don't get to see until you get to a certain point in your career, and that like you say, the big boys want to get involved, and then they're telling you 10-0, this kid's 20-0, he's an Olympic gold medalist, kind of all these sort of things, and you're like, well, yeah, but then there's guys like you who are grafting hard and making it count. So you're the lifeblood of boxing, and thank you
very much
for doing what you do and keeping the shows going as well. So wish you every success, Spencer. Thanks so much for coming on the Big Hype tonight.
Thank you.
All right, take care.